to the President's Diary, a weekly program where we highlight the work of His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Irfaan Ali. President Ali celebrated his birth anniversary on Sunday, April 25. During a simple ceremony in the Buridi Ben Abbott State House, he was regaled by the Guyana Police Force Band.
The head of state, who was accompanied by First Lady Mrs. Arya Ali, enjoyed the band's lively renditions of Happy Birthday for He's a Jolly Good Fellow and Electric Avenue. Other special requests from the President were also played. In expressing his gratitude for the special performance, President Ali used the opportunity to convey his birthday wish for Guyana to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic. He also acknowledged the instrumental, inspirational and leading role of the Guyana Police Force's Director of Music and Culture, Superintendent Charmin Stewart, who died recently. President Ali was also presented with a token on behalf of the Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Nigel Hoppy, and the Guyana Police Force.
His Excellency Dr. Muhammad Irfaan Ali has said the recent High Court ruling by Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George to dismiss the election petition filed by the opposition is a welcomed one. The President says it is testimony to the enduring strength of Guyana's democracy. He was speaking on Wednesday during a media conference hosted at State House.
I particularly welcome, therefore, the decision of Chief Justice Roxanne George in dismissing an election petition filed by that opposition, which spuriously sought to challenge the constitutional and legal results of the general and regional elections held on the 2nd of March last year, which elected the People's Progressive Party to government and which was recognized without exception internationally.
The court's decision, the President says, is further evidence that as a people and a country, whatever our differences, political or otherwise, these are settled peacefully and within the rule of law.
Let me take this opportunity to recommit my administration to continuing to uphold and defend the separation of powers between the legislature, the executive and the judiciary, which is so vital to the functioning of our democracy. I look forward to our course continuing to recognize the efficacy of the last elections in addressing any future challenges on this matter.
The head of state in his opening statement at the media conference emphasized that the COVID pandemic is far from over. The President noted that the COVID mutations constantly challenge the response, but the science has concluded that vaccination is the only way out.
My government has launched an exceptionally aggressive vaccination program to achieve herd immunity in the shortest possible time frame. It has not been easy. As you're aware, sourcing the vaccines is a global challenge, and we have met it head on. We have made every resource available to get us all vaccinated. To date, our comprehensive response to COVID has cost us as a nation billions of dollars.
While the government is making every effort to provide vaccines for every adult, President Ali has said the onus is on the individual to understand the importance of vaccination and to get immunized.
These vaccines come with a shelf life, costs for storage and transportation, which are enormous and will not forever be available. To get back to normalcy, the introduction of a mass vaccination passport is being contemplated by many countries. In fact, we have already seen countries lower entry requirements for vaccinated persons. We here in Guyana will soon have to consider this option.
He reiterated that everyone must obey the preventative COVID-19 measures, which many people continue to flout. In this regard, President Ali said enforcement will be strengthened.
Meantime, President Ali says the protection of Guyana's sovereignty and territorial integrity is paramount.
We have welcomed the judgment on jurisdiction given by the International Court of Justice, and we're diligently preparing to submit our case for the court by the 8th of March next year.
The President shared his administration's plans for health sector reform. He spoke of the transformation already taking place under the Smart Hospital initiative, highlighting the recent commissioning of the Diamond Smart Hospital and upgrades slated for the Lethe, Mabaruma, Sodi and Port Kaituma hospitals.
Under the India Grant Program, the contract has been awarded for the design of the West Demerara, Bartika and Saudi Hospital's improvement project. The maternity hospital in Lethem is scheduled to be completed in May 2021, while the Festival City Health Center is scheduled to be completed in September. We have already earmarked the land for a state-of-the-art maternity and children hospital, and discussions are ongoing with different funding agencies for its construction. We are also receiving enormous interest for private investments in healthcare, of which strong local content and involvement is evident.
The President noted that works have commenced on building a national patient care management information system. Focus is also being placed on building human resource capacity in the health sector.
Delving further into the administration's development plans, President Ali said food security and expanding the agriculture sector to realize Guyana's potential as the breadbasket of the Caribbean remain priorities. The President noted that the intention is to focus investments in this sector to be globally competitive.
We are already seeing results with positive growth in the rice sector through the development of 16 high-yielding rice varieties, increasing yields from 39 bags an acre to between 50 to 60 bags per acre in tested areas, and by the establishment of the Paddy Bog Action Unit in Region 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
President Ali noted that government's commitment to sugar has seen $7 billion allocated to the Guyana Sugar Corporation. Kaisuku has completed a 5-year strategic plan, rehired more than 1,000 workers, and an expression of interest for private participation in the industry saw significant responses, which are currently being evaluated.
The government is also supporting farmers with maintenance works in drainage and irrigation, or investment in other crops has returned substantial earnings. In building our livestock industry, government has invested and will continue to invest in high-quality livestock for improved production and productivity. The fishing and aquaculture industry has seen remarkable expansion with over $30 million in private investment for this year.
In the area of natural resources, the head of state says this sector continues to improve. The President made reference to ExxonMobil's recent announcement of the discovery of the Uaru-2 well in the Stabroek block, which will add to the gross discovered recoverable resource estimate, currently said to be approximately 9 billion oil equivalent barrels.
The FPSO Unity is scheduled to arrive in the second half of this year, whilst Payara is expected to come online by 2024. By 2027, it is expected that 3 additional FPSOs will come on stream, taking production to 1 million barrels per day. The local private sector is becoming more involved and aggressive in proactively preparing for these opportunities, with expansion and construction of new shore and air-based capacity and the building of our servicing capabilities.
Further, our local content provisions will ensure that once the service is offered here competitively, it must be given priority to be utilized.
The expanded low-carbon development strategy is a platform through which our development pathway will be embedded. This was recently reinforced at a Commonwealth Heads of Government America's Roundtable discussion. This was hosted by His Royal Highness Prince Charles. The roundtable discussed how to advance green recovery post-COVID and initiatives to be taken for consideration at the 26th UN Climate Change Conference of the Parties COP26 later this year.
President Ali said to advance Guyana's participation in the carbon market, a letter of intent was signed with Emergent Finance Accelerated Incorporated, a U.S.-based nonprofit organization to sell our carbon credit through credit contract.
Guyana has a huge quarry potential and that has been greatly underdeveloped. The extraordinary demand in the construction boom has required the importation of an estimated 40% of the demand in the last few months, at an approximate value of US $10 million. We can produce this locally.
His Excellency says our accelerated housing program, massive highways and community roads which are being developed will increase the country's demands threefold over the next 5 years.
In the housing and construction sector, President Ali noted that his government is well on its way to achieving the promised 50,000 house lots. 4,000 house lots have been completed within the first 9 months.
Our investment portfolio of $15 billion in housing has seen a drop in low-income interest rates, an increase in the loan ceiling from 12 million to 15 million, and an increase in the mortgage relief threshold from 15 million to 30 million. With more than 676 commercial construction approvals, further opportunities for jobs and economic expansion will be created.
The President also highlighted plans for the security sector, infrastructural development, and more across the country.
I'm confident that our country is on the right path. The journey to prosperity has been accelerated and will only be realized with hard work, commitment, and a collective embrace of Guyana's future.
On Labor Day, May 1, President Ali, in his address to the nation, noted that workers are most indispensable to national development. The President said they provide the brain and muscle of our economy.
Workers are the prime force in transforming our resources into wealth. They help drive and sustain economic growth and are the protagonists of human development. Without workers, our economy would grind to a halt.
President Ali says the COVID-19 pandemic has inflicted grievous harm to the global economy. He noted that workers have borne the brunt of the global downturn resulting from the pandemic. Employment shrunk as hundreds of millions of workers were hurled onto the breadline.
Guyana has not been immune to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our economy has also been adversely affected. But we have taken and will continue to take steps to protect workers and their families.
Every worker, the President noted, whether in the formal or informal sectors, whether employed in the traditional or newly emerging sectors, or engaged in the private or public sector, has a critical role to play in helping to navigate our economic recovery and advancing economic growth and development.
My government is committed to ensuring a better life for all workers. Our workers deserve this. Over the next 5 years and beyond, workers can look forward to greater economic security, enhanced economic prosperity, and progressive improvements in citizens' living standards.
This has been the President's Diary, where we took a look at His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfaan Ali's week of activities. Thanks for watching. Join us again next week.